on the Mike Missanelli Show. This situation is, it's not that much different than how I opened the show. When I said that Embiid is a guy now he's feeling constantly sorry for himself. They allowed him to come into a season the way he wanted to, which is just ramp up, Joel. Don't worry about it. Be permissive. We'll be permissive to you ramping up because it's more important. The storyline is more important that you're healthy for the playoffs. It was a bad mindset, and it was a mindset that creeped me out early. And so now it has evolved into, okay, he's late for stuff. So he's showing a general malaise for the season, buying into the fact, well, I just have to show up for the playoffs because they're allowing me to do that. And so when he loses his cachet with the fan base, before this even happened, I said, you know what his response will be? They don't appreciate me here. I went out.
Yeah, and I'm reading more of this article, and it says, Embiid accepted the messages sent in the meeting, sources said, but he stated he's confused about what the 76ers are attempting to execute sometimes on the court. So now, why have a but? Hey, Joel, you're late for everything. It's sending a bad message to the team. But I'm confused about what we're trying to do.
What do you mean we're confused what you're trying to do? Look at the way you're playing. You're not participating. Like what are they supposed to do? Like you said you got to be more assertive. Well, then why weren't you assertive yesterday? Go on a block and duel with Bam. like score on Bam inside. That's how you can set a tone. The whole thing about him is that he's always got something to deflect from his personal responsibility.
This is a bad look, man. Fans were already angry about the 2-11 start, and now we got this coming out. I mean, good for Maxey. I'm happy that Maxey stepped up and says something. It is surprising, though, and that's why I asked, who do you think leaked this to Shams? Because you think it was the team.
Well, of course it was the team. Shams gets everything from general managers or agents or whatever. They use him. He's the sound. They throw it out there. When they need to put a point out there, who do they go to? They go to that guy.
They go to Shams. Yeah, it's not any of the local guys.
He throws it out there.
None of the local guys got it.
So, in other words, the team is afraid to challenge him. So, let's do it this way, where his own teammate challenged him, and then it got leaked by the team.
Yeah, the team wanted it out there. But now I'm actually feeling a little bad for Nick Nurse because all those times he's getting put up there at the podium having to answer questions about Joel and trying to spin and doing all these things.
Well, don't you think he wanted it out there too?
I'm sure he did.
Maybe it was his idea.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said I feel bad that Nurse was up there trying to defend all this stuff. But look, we're going to learn a lot now about Joel. Because how does he respond to this?
It's the same old thing with him, though. Remember when Shaq and Charles challenged him, and he said, you guys are right. And he did that for a while. And then it's like, now he's back to this. So he'll do it for a little while. Yeah. He'll say the right things. He'll say, I got to be more assertive. They're right. I can't be. I got to set a tone. But how do you do that this late in your career? How do you not know, as such an important player that he is, to do the most fundamental things, which is just be on top, be engaged. Maybe the way you're engaged, be on time. If you're being late for something that sends a bit, he doesn't know that by now as a veteran player. Come on, man.
He should, man. He should. And look, we were trying to give him the benefit of the doubt about was he out of shape when he came to camp, and I said, well, maybe there was something with the knee. Either way, whether it's an injury, whether it's he's out of shape, all of that, you can be on time. You could show good leadership. You could support your teammates. The fact that a team meeting was needed for him to be called out on this, yeah, it's a bad look for Joel, but how does the organization not tell him, be on time tomorrow, Joel? Why did they need to have a meeting for this?
Maybe they do. He's going to do anything. The guys like that can do anything they want, and he's taken advantage of the fact that he's this star player, and he knows it, and they need him and all that stuff. Otherwise, like, personal responsibilities for great players would be the survey situation after the Olympics. Say, this is important. We've got all these new players. I got Paul George, who I lobbied for. Don't you think he can absorb the responsibility of being in shape, being less weighty. Like this is what I don't get. And they allowed him to do it, and you allowed him to do it. Damn it! And really, this is what makes me nuts about fans that went along with this whole thing.
I was on board.
What are you complaining about, Mike? It's more important for him to be ready for the playoffs. Really?
Yeah.
Now look what you got.
But, Mike, I understand where you're going with this. But I was on board with load management, and I understand what you're saying is being permissive of load management resulted in this type of attitude to start the season. But I also think that that's a big leap. A player can say, all right, I'm going to try to load manage myself so that I'm healthy for the playoffs, but still be on time, still be in shape, still show aggressiveness on the court. I don't think that you can say, well, because we told him it's okay to be load managed, then we gave him free reign to be late and out of shape.
Forget the late part. Where is the responsibility to be ready for a season? This is what I'm getting to. Everybody looked at it like that's not important for him to be ready for the season. And I said just the opposite. Here's why it's important. Because you got to forge a bond of team.
I understand all of that.
Now, I hate you right now. Because
I know.
you bought into it.
Because I'm the only one here to yell at.
No, you bought into it. Just like everybody else bought into it.
Well, because what alternative was there? We've seen him not healthy.
What's the alternative? Give him freaking shape to start the season.
I agree with you on that one.
You didn't agree.
Yes, I was angry he wasn't in shape to start the season. What I was saying was there a reason why he wasn't in shape? Was the knee worse than we thought? You
always went down to that. There was a knee. It was obvious that they set a tone. It's not important. He bought in. It's not important. Now, if you have personal responsibility as a star player who leads your team, what about that is right? That you buy into, you take the time to not be ready to start a season.
And that's why I told you yesterday, and I said it again today, you were right on it. You were right because it did set a horrible tone, and now that's resulted in all of the stuff that we're seeing, and now this report, it's bad.
You helped set the horrible tone, and I'll never forgive you for it.
Well, you know what? This is such big news. Do you know who's in our YouTube chat right now?
Who's in our YouTube chat?
Ray Dunn.
Ray Dunn.
And he said, I'm cooked when I get back tomorrow because he's been permissive of it too. So at least I have him.
Both of you guys.
Yes, man. Another thing that's important is that he's healthy for the playoffs.
You bunch of creeps. You allowed it to happen just like everybody else in this city.
Listen, I'll be the whipping boy today because you're correct. I was permissive of this. But I don't think saying I'm all right with load management means I'm okay with him not being in shape and I'm okay with him being late at meetings. That's a big jump forward. But I understand your point. It's the tone that was set. But I thought Joel was a better leader than that. I thought he would say, even though I'm going to be load managed, I'm going to show leadership, I'm going to show support, especially to all these new pieces that we got, that I'm going to be there to lead this team. And I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, especially when you look at the timing of this, where this happens. Like, obviously, the team meeting happens after rock bottom, but Joel's had this same mindset the entire year. So going into yesterday, they're 2-10, and he still has this lackadaisical mindset. And Tyrese Maxey has to get into it with him. And when he's asked about it afterwards, Joel, he's kind of joking around. Oh, yeah, what team meeting? Like, the timing of this just makes it seem like he is not taking any of this serious when this team's 2-11 and free-falling.
After they get smoked by Miami, he says, well, I guess I need to be more assertive. On what planet are you on that you don't know during the game you need to be more assertive? Why as you're getting waxed by that team, which has the losing record, after you realize you got to be more assertive? Because and this nonsense, hell, he was sick. All of a sudden, he can play. You know, he's the one who said he was sick. Like, that's part of the whole thing.
Well, I think him saying I need to be more assertive is trying to deflect from what the actual message of the meeting was, which is more about you need to be on time. You need to be present. So when he's asked about the meeting, and we played the clip earlier, he makes the joke, oh, was there a meeting? Ha-ha, and he laughs. And then he goes on to say, I need to be more assertive, because he wasn't going to come out and say what actually was discussed in the meeting, that I got called out by Tyrese Maxey. I'm the leader of the team, and Tyrese Maxey had to call me out. He wasn't going to admit that.
Him letting them know that he was sick is part of the whole malaise of him not being interested in this part of the season, which goes back to what they did because they enabled it. Let's go to Marcus in Center City. Marcus, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, Mike, I'm not worried because this reminds me of the Kobe-Shaq fight when Shaq was slacking off and Kobe was, getting on him. Mm-hmm. And that ended up getting 2 rings after that for Shaq and Kobe.
You think that Shaq has an Embiid's mindset a little different?
He had this mindset.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, Kobe. Go back and remember, Kobe was telling me he wasn't working hard enough.
Yeah, but Shaq is a killer. But Shaq is a killer in general.
He became a killer, right? He was killer then, but he was slacking off, Mike.
Yeah, but it's not the same because Shaq is a warrior who all he had to do was be tweaked, and he's going to be a warrior again. We don't know if this guy has that warrior mentality.
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe that's the only thing we got to look forward to here because otherwise, like what I've been saying, trade the guy now. Get rid of him. You're not going to win with him.
You can't.
And by the way,
you're not going to win if you trade him either.
Two comments. Well, you're not going to win with him. But listen, 2 comments that I don't like with Embiid. When he was yapping about what I've done for this city, you treated me like this. What has he done for this city? And number 2, he just said, well, he doesn't understand what they're doing on the court. When has he been on the court? How many games did he play out of 11 or whatever, 13 games? He played like 2 or 3 games? How would he know what they're doing on the court if he's sitting on the bench watching? I mean, this guy doesn't get it. He doesn't get it, Mike.
Again, the Shaq thing, it's a decent comparison because you're thinking that maybe this lights the fire under him. I mean, who knows what's going to light a fire under him? The only thing I know is that right now he's disinterested. And he's disinterested because they enabled it. and now they're trying to recover from it by throwing it out in public that there was a meeting where he got called out by a young kid star.
Yeah, and the fact that it's shams, it's got to be from the team.
And in the past, when things like this have happened, he's gone into his shell saying, you don't appreciate me. Instead of being the other way, which I want to rip your face off.
Oh, man. See, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt about the knee, saying that maybe the reason he came into camp out of shape was because of the knee. But I wouldn't think that they would leak this type of story if a lot of what he was dealing with was injury related. I feel like we would have heard that, the knee's a little bit worse. That's why he came in out of shape. The fact that that's not mentioned at all here, it's just about how he's late for meetings and he had to have the team meeting. It's probably more along the lines what you thought was he didn't care about the regular season when he got to camp. He wasn't in shape because he knew regular season doesn't matter. That's what the Sixers franchises told me. It goes back to when he said, if I had to guess, I'm probably never playing back-to-backs again. You're right. It's almost as if he had the mentality, regular season doesn't matter, so why do I have to care about anything? And that's a bad message.
Let's take yesterday, for example. Like, he was questionable. He was downgraded to question he wasn't going to play, missed the shoot-around. Now, you know what that elicited? Now that I know this story, that elicited in the locker room what? An eye roll. And that eye roll got translated back to him somehow where somebody said to him, somebody close to him, whoever it was, dude, it's probably best to tee it up. They're losing patience with you. And this is an example of it.
Yep.
Players also told 76ers coach Nick Nurse that they want to be coached harder. Now, what do you think that message is? Coach him harder.
Without a doubt, yeah. And the coaches in turn said they want players to practice with purpose and attention to detail. It's hard not to think they're talking about Joel. Yeah, it's a tough day.
The guy you just gave another $200 million a couple months ago.
Of course. And with that, there's no responsibility to play. You're going to get it anyway. Don't get the bag. Let's go to the text board, Tom. What do we have?
All right, we got people hot and bothered with your Sixers. Ed from Cinnaminson says, I love, all caps, love to see Maxey calling him out. Tyrese Maxey is a shark. He smells blood, quote, Embiid at the end of his career. And now Maxey is going to take leadership of this team, kind of similar to Kobe calling out of shape Shaq, like the caller just mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, how do you think that's going to play out now with Embiid? That the kid is now the more popular. They're siding with the kid. What do you think Embiid? How do you think Embiid reacts to that after all he's done for this city?
Is Maxey the only one that Embiid would listen to an extent? Like, if anyone else calls out Embiid in that locker room, is it going to hit home as much as it would be coming from Maxey?
Well, who else would be the one that
like
called
Paul
him
George
out?
wouldn't. He just got here.
Yeah, Paul George wouldn't do it. Caleb Martin wouldn't do it. Maybe Kyle Lowry, being a veteran guy, and he was here for a little bit of time last season. Didn't play that much with Joel last year, though, because of the injury. I guess Lowry could have been somebody to call him out, but I think it had to be Maxey.
It's kind of a last resort.
And they have a close relationship. We know that. So probably meant more, and maybe Joel would handle it better coming from Maxey. It is frustrating, though.
You know, he's going to say the right thing.
Do it.
He's going to say the right thing in public.
Joel is.
Yeah. He's going to say the right. Tyrese and I are tight, and I take his advice. You know, they'll do that. Now, after that, how he feels about it, we'll see.